Welcome back to another episode on the Expand Your Awareness 2.0 podcast. My name's Aaron Doughty, and I'm excited to be here with you. You want to know why? Because I have been very passionate about podcasts. That's one thing I've been very excited to do is to make podcasts and to also do them more conversational style. I think back in the day, it was like I would sit down and I would have 5 things to do XYZ, just kind of like a YouTube video. And even when I have guests on the podcast, the vibe that I'm going for is making it more like a Joe Rogan type thing than like me interviewing like, okay, so how'd you get your start? And then me being like, so what do you think about this? And then it's just like more like a conversation. That's the goal. So even just when I'm doing these right now as well, the goal is to make it more casual, much more fun, much more just kind of like we're talking. Imagine you and I are sitting across from each other. I'm at my my little shaman side of my house where I have like a gratitude altar. I have my hape. If you guys don't know what hape is, it's like ceremonial tobacco. It goes up your nose. You don't smoke it. I know it sounds very intense. I did it in Costa Rica when I was doing plant medicine, ayahuasca, and I was like, never going to do this stuff. It's going up the nose. I don't drink coffee. I don't smoke weed. I don't drink alcohol. There's no way I'm putting tobacco up my nose. But then I got served it on the last night of ceremony. They didn't, as the shaman was just going around in a circle and giving it in a healing circle, and I didn't want to say, hey, no, I don't do that. I did it, or he served me, and I was like, whoa, what is this? I felt so in the moment. I felt so good, and I feel a connection to the tobacco plant. The tobacco plant, many people don't know this, I have an episode that I did with my friend Patty. Her name's Patty Papa. It's Victor Oto's wife, and she's huge into all of these plants, and we have plant dieta. It's called plant dieta. She just got done doing a plant dieta, and what she did. Oh, maybe you know what? Maybe let me know if you guys want me to do this. We will do an episode on what Patty learned because she just did a week-long intensive dieta with mapacho. Mapacho is the tobacco plant. And what she did is there's like a certain, you only do this if you're being like supervised. Many plants that you diet. So a plant diet, by the way, I know this is kind of like a random episode. We're going to be talking in this episode about letting go of the old identity to become the new identity, but I'm just sharing kind of stuff that I think is kind of cool. So anyways, what you do in a plant dieta is you connect to the consciousness of the plant. And one thing that you do is you have a very strict diet, no seasonings, like nothing that actually tastes really good, and you drink water. And then what you do is so you're very sensitive in a way, and then what you do is you diet a certain plant. So if you're dieting rose, very common one, it's very safe, what you would do is you would eat very, very clean. There's certain foods that you eat, certain foods you don't eat. Then what you do is every day you're going to do like a ceremonial tea with like rose, and that's going to connect you to rose, the consciousness of rose, which is very loving. And what you then do is you may use rose essential oils. You may take a rose bath, and for like a certain period of time, maybe 2-3 weeks, you'll be doing this rose dieta or whatever plant dieta you're doing. That helps you to learn from the plants because the plants have a consciousness of their own. So I feel a connection to mapacho, which is tobacco. When I was growing up, I was always smoking hookah. Hookah was the big thing when I was like 18 years old. And between 18 to 21, it's like 21, you can't, if you're under 21, you can't drink, legally at least. And then 18 to 21, though, what can you do? Well, when I was a kid, we smoked hookah. So I smoked a lot of hookah. And I've always felt the connection to the tobacco plant, mapacho in general. So now that I do hape every now and then, which goes up the nose, and there's self-serving ones called curapes, or the tempe is when someone else serves you. And this tobacco, what it is it's a mix of tobacco and herbs. And what tribes do is they put their energy into that of the tobacco, and they bless it, and they set intentions, and they chant over it, and you get this tobacco, which comes in. There's many different tribes, and you're in a way connecting to these tribes, and it's something that I do a couple times a week normally. It's very meditative. It's zero psychoactive. It's not like you're not tripping or anything. It's literally just a very meditative thing. Anyways, I'm next to my hape section at my house, and imagine you and I are just chilling here, and we're just having a conversation. And the thing that I want to share with you in this episode has to do with understanding your identity and signs it's time to like let go of the old identity and how to branch into the new one. Because there'll be signs there that are showing you, hey, you've been thinking the same way, feeling the same way, doing the same thing, getting the same result. It's time to like branch off and to like do something different. And here's what I've been learning also in just 2020 in general. I've been actually doing less and getting more. And I know that sounds like normally the way that we think about it is like the more you do, the more success you'll get. And that's the way I thought for like 2 or 3 years. Making videos on YouTube. When I first started making videos, I got so rewarded for making a lot of videos because I went from 0 to now almost 1 million subscribers on YouTube. And I was like, oh, making daily videos is good. This willpower is great. And then I started learning the marketing side of what I do. And I started learning that. It's like, oh, good. The more action I take, the more result I get. But I'm at a place now, and I think many of you will be there maybe in your current identity. If you're attracted to this episode, you're at a place now to where even taking more action may actually not be the solution. It may be actually to take a step back and to create some space so that then there's new opportunities, there's new intuitive insights that come forward. And this will sound counterintuitive. Now, let me share with you a example of this and how it's worked in my own life. You can't see me right now, but one thing I'm doing right now is, maybe you can if you're watching the video on YouTube, but what I'm doing is I'm bulking right now. So I'm going to share with you this metaphor that I think will really help you understand this process, and the yin-yang balance here. So for a very long time, I've been working out since I was like 18, 19 years old. I love going to the gym. I've just within the last couple of years started understanding calories and things like that. Which to that awareness is very powerful. When I became aware that I grew up and I would like make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I would literally put like 7 servings of peanut butter on there. And I'm like, and I would eat it. And then now I know though that 7 servings of peanut butter is over 1,000 calories, which is like half the amount of calories most people would get in a day. So now awareness really is key, because when I become aware of that, I can never eat peanut butter the same way unless I'm trying to bulk or something. But I learned about that like 2-3 years ago. Now I've never really had a phase in my life where I really have a certain fitness goal and I just go for it. Kind of I've had one of trimming down because I was getting kind of fat a couple like years ago, and I did get really like lean. But now what I want to do is I actually want to bulk up. Bulking up means I want to gain muscle. I want to be bigger. Now, why do I want to do that? Anything you want is because of the feeling it gives you. So part of my belief system is that if I do that, I'm going to feel more confident about myself, or I just kind of want to do it. Honestly, I've never had that goal, so I'm doing it now. Now, let me share with you this huge paradoxical lesson that has changed everything for me, because even though you can't see me right now, I am gaining muscle. I am gaining weight, and this is working, and I've only been doing it a couple weeks, but here it is. I normally was working out 6 days a week and doing a lot of cardio. And what I've realized is that I'm now following a nutrition plan and a workout plan from somebody that's gotten the same results, that's very legit for what they do. And here's what it is. I'm now only working out 3 times a week. I went from 6 times a week to 3 days a week. 3 days a week, when I work out, I have certain workout I do on Monday, certain workout I do on Wednesday, certain workout I do on Friday. Every single week, it's the same exact workout, and what I'll be doing is every week, I push it 2.5 to 5 pounds up every week. So like yesterday, I did, I did pull-ups, weighted pull-ups with like a belt, and I had weight too. And I think like 2 weeks ago, I had like 62.5 pounds. So this week I did 65 pounds for 6 reps for the first set. And then after that, I went, it was like, there's a certain, it's called drop set. But anyways, and then after that, I did military press, which is like shoulder press. And then after that, I did back row. So it was like so anyways, I'm going to do that same thing next week, but I'm going to add 2.5 to 5 pounds every week. So I'm pushing my comfort zone. I'm pushing where I was at last week. And then here is the biggest thing. The days I don't work out, so Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, The days I don't work out, guess what I do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Well, I kind of do, like sometimes I'll do something called active recovery where I ride a bike, but it's nothing intense. And I go into the sauna every day too. I do the sauna every day. But normally, this is so counterintuitive to what I learned. I learned if you want to get bigger, you got to go to the gym more. But here's the thing I was missing out on. When you go to the gym every single day, you don't give your body time to rebuild, to refuel itself. When you're not sleeping 8 hours a day or 7 or whatever it is, when you're not sleeping enough, you're not recovering your body enough. I was listening to a guy named Doughty, who's like an old school bodybuilder guy. And he was huge. I mean, he was on steroids, but he's also huge. And he said that, he won the Olympia. It was an amazing physique. However, he was on steroids, but he also only went to the gym like 3-4 days. He worked out 4 days a week. And people would like, how do you only work out 4 days a week? But he was like, when I go every 4 days a week, I work out very hard. I work out and I push my limits. But then he also said, here's the analogy. Imagine you get a little bit of sandpaper and you put the sandpaper against your hand and you just rub it until it starts to bleed a little bit, or you start to get these callus. What happens is then when it starts to rebuild, it'll build a callus. But if you go every single day and you scrub it till you bleed, what you'll have is just a bloody hand. That was an analogy that Dorian Yates guy used. So you're not giving it time to rebuild. You're not giving those calluses to rebuild. In the same way, imagine you're breaking down muscle, you're not giving it time to rebuild. So that's what I did the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm getting noticeably bigger, noticeably more muscle. I'm gaining a little bit more fat now too, but that's okay because I'm bulking. And it's a cool excuse. Everywhere I go, I'm bulking. So like we go to this restaurant and I'm like, I order some like unhealthy food. I order healthy food, but then sometimes I'll order something, and normally I'd have this big constriction and guilt. I'd be like, no, I can't do that because, I had this like real guilt with food, but now I'm really just able to let loose and just eat what I want, which is amazing. But it's always an excuse everywhere I go. I'm like, oh, I'm bulking. I can eat that. I'm bulking. I'll be like, we order more food or order dessert. I'm bulking. It's just my excuse for everything now. I just go around and just tell people. I'll just tell people randomly on the street too. I'm like, I'm bulking. I just think it's funny. But so I'm actually doing less and getting better result. Now, the metaphor for that is that what I was doing before, it was very yang. Putting out energy, doing activity, running, working out. But here's the thing too, is I was in the autopilot mind. I was literally going to the gym every single day, doing the same thing with no plan really at all. I wasn't planning on pushing beyond. I was in autopilot. I didn't even have a plan on what I was doing each day. And I would just go in and just like wing it, but not even push. Just like I do like sets of 15. I do like a set of 15 and just like very lightweight, which isn't getting me closer to the goals that I have. That could be good for some people, but for me, I'm trying to build muscle, so I need to really push, and then to keep it minimal, like not 800 sets, of like lightweight. So, anyways, the reason I'm saying this is like that's putting out energy is very yang energy, which is very giving, and then yin energy is very taking. I was realizing in my own life, even with working out, yang, no yin to me to take in nutrients, take in energy, to relax, to ground myself. And because of that, it was imbalanced. Now, when I look at my life now, and I'm using this metaphor, because here's another thing that I realized with my old identity. This is uncomfortable for my old identity. Like I'm literally, the first week I did this, I was like, I feel like I'm not doing enough. I feel like I'm just lazy. Even though I was going to the sauna, I was like, man, I'm not doing anything. This doesn't make sense. But it's important to understand that the aspect of you that relaxes and takes in and recoups and almost connects to that energy, that is a part of the process. That then fills up your cup so that then you can give more. And when I started to absorb into that, now I enjoy it. Today, I'm not going to the gym. Very weird for me. But today, I'm going to go into the sauna. I'm going to ride my bike for a little bit. That allows me to enjoy my life a lot more. I'm actually enjoying life like way more. But here's what I realized it's also doing for me in my other areas of my life. Even though it's uncomfortable with my old identity, who thinks I need to do more, who thinks I'm eating like way too much food, I need to be in a calorie surplus. I don't need to be in a calorie surplus to put on muscle, but I choose to. Now, on the other side of this, we have that of my old identity, which I've talked about this many times. Here's the thing. You know when you talk about something and if you're really living it with your actions. So I tell people, hey, I understand I don't have to make daily videos anymore if I don't feel passionate about making every single video and I feel like I'm just kind of, repetitive with some of my videos. I don't think I have to make daily videos anymore. And I say that. I've been saying that since like November of 2019 or 18. I think 2018 I've been saying that. But guess what my actions have shown? I'm actually taking action as if I don't believe that. Because I continue to I went from, my idea of letting go, by the way, was I was making 7 videos a week, and then I made 6 videos a week. I took one day off a week, and I'm like, look, I let go. Of course, that was my way of doing it, but my actions are showing that I still believe I need to make daily videos, and it's almost like I'm afraid to let go. That's the funny thing. That's the weird thing. It's like I'm afraid to let go of that old perspective, and I'm afraid that like if I let go of that, then I'm going to let go of the growth. Because like I've always had this goal of 1 million subscribers on YouTube. I'm at like 950,000 is where we're at right now. But like it's almost like I'm waiting to get to 1 million before I go down to 3 a week. But it's like, why can't I just do it now? What difference is that really going to make? It's the mind and the ego that always wants to remain consistent and always wants more. But here's the thing. Here's the funny thing about this. I went from working out 6 days a week to 3 days a week. I'm getting better results. I now make videos, ironically enough, 6 days a week. What if I took that down to 3 days a week? And in those 3 days a week videos, I put more energy into it. I became more passionate about it. And what if then it got better results, actually? By me letting go, I got better results. I know back in 2018, I had that huge epiphany of letting go, and I let go of caring what people think. That was the big thing for that year. I really cared what people thought. I really cared. I was making videos on, I started making videos on star seeds and this really esoteric stuff, and I was afraid to make those videos, but then I finally put it out, and guess what happened? An insane amount of abundance, an insane amount of growth happened from doing that. Normally, the videos I'm most scared to put out are the ones that go viral or bring in the most amount of people. Now, in the same way, it will seem scary to let go of the old identity, but one thing that may happen as well is you may get some negative synchronicity that shows you like, hey, maybe it's time to actually step into this new. Even on YouTube recently, I've had to let go more and more of certain things. For example, many of I've maybe talked about this once before. I've been getting signs to let go of attachment to certain videos that I have as well. For example, I have like 1,500 videos on my YouTube channel. Within the last 2-3 weeks, I've had over 100 videos deleted off of my channel. 100 videos. And it was shocking to me. It was, I was confused as to how this was even legal for that to happen. The videos that were deleted were videos on a book that I mentioned 3 years ago. I made over 100 videos. Almost 100 videos. I have over 100 videos, but now I can't. There's some I didn't post that I'm never going to post now. I'll never talk about this book ever again. But there was a book that I shared that was written by a Russian quantum physicist. Many of you have given that away. Now you know what book it is. But I'll never say the words again of the title of that book. At least I don't think I ever will. And I made videos about this. This book, and I sent thousands and thousands and thousands of people to this book. And what happened is I made videos on this book. I was passionate about it. And then what happened is that was like 3 years ago. I stopped because I got into other things, It was like a little phase. And what happened is 3 years after I made those videos, this lady who apparently knows the author trademarked the words of that book. And then what happened is she trademarked the book at the end of like 2019. And then what she did is she went in and my videos that were made 3 years ago, she went in and did on YouTube and did this thing where every single video where I talk about that book, deleted in a minute. And I'm pretty sure that is an abuse of trademark. I don't think you can. I think that suppresses my free speech because I'm not claiming that book is my own. I'm not claiming I wrote it. I'm actually quoting and saying, go buy the book, and it's written by this guy, this Russian guy, and like I'm actually promoting it. Yet it got deleted. Over 100, almost 100 videos got deleted. And what it really is, I believe, is first off, I mean, I could go into a whole thing on this, and I don't want to like spew this out there, but I think it's I don't know if it's unconstitutional, but I think it's abuse of free speech. I think it's abuse of trademark, and I think that she has to be very careful with what she's doing, because if she gets to the wrong person, they could do something about that. And the thing that I realized about this, though, and this is the purpose I think behind it. I think what happened is I made videos on this book, sent thousands and thousands of people to buy the book, but the people that represent that organization, because it's like an organization, they don't really live by the teachings, I've realized. I don't mean this in the mean way, but like the teachings themselves, what I was confused with is when they started this, I was like, don't they realize that like part of the teachings of this book is like they're doing the opposite of that, and they're feeding this pendulum. They're feeding, like, it just made no sense to me. That I was like, I don't represent the organization or anything, but I'm like doing my best to like go by the teachings in a way, and then they're fighting it, going against the teachings in general, and it was just very confusing to me. But what happened is I think what happened is I made videos on it, and then what they saw was that I looked like an authority on it, because then all these other coaches that like they may have been through the coaching for the book or whatever, they couldn't really, maybe I don't know if I overshadowed them because my YouTube videos were more like ranking on YouTube, and I had 80 videos or almost 100 videos on YouTube. I don't know what it is. My intention was to never be known as I'm quoting and sending people to the book. That was my intention. My intention was not like, I want to be the authority and I want to be the go-to person on this. Because when I made those videos, by the way, I had like less than 100,000 subs. I wasn't already a big-time YouTuber. I did not make my success off of this book. I had to put energy into promoting this book, and I made this book much bigger than it was. A lot of people say they know about this book because of me and my videos. Even people that now like teach the book. It's insane to me that somebody could like pump that much traffic to somebody and then they just delete it, and instead of them like joining forces and like being appreciative for all of the thousands of books that I've sent to them to like get the book. So that was what was confusing to me, and I know I'm kind of venting here. It's what, it's one thing. You can kind of see my perspective on this. And also I've just seen, nothing, I don't want to get too much deeper on it, but I can see that organization just isn't integrity. And also that main lady, I just can tell that there's just a lot of stuff going on. I can tell that there's, it kind of reminds me somewhat of my, I don't know, never mind. I don't want to it reminds me of my ex-stepmom in some ways, the way that the control is, the manipulation in a way. And I've just decided I'm never going to talk about that book again. But here's the synchronicity. When all those 80 to 100 videos were deleted, what I realized is I need to let go. There's nothing I can do about this. It also made me realize that I need to step into my new identity of having my own teachings, because I have my own teachings, and I don't need to like promote some other book. I have my own ways of going about things, and my own way of going about things is different than any other book. I have my own unique way of getting results and help people raise their vibration, create their dream life. And what I've learned is that I need to step into that identity. I need to step into that identity and not try to cling onto some old way of being. I need to also let go of my attachment to the videos, and that negative synchronicity that was coming up was like, hey, are you still that old identity that really, really cares about this? I was like, you know what? No, I don't have to. I just felt bad because there's so many other people that share that book, and it's like I know that they're maybe in for something like that as well, which I know is not unfortunate. And also, it's just I believe it's illegal and it's immoral, and it's against free speech, especially when someone's intention was good. So that's my spew on that. But my old identity was the one that was really attached to the outcome. Even though it sounds like I'm still triggered by it, I'm really not affected by it. I'm over it. I'm over it. Okay, I'm just over it. I'm just kidding. But I am. I've let go of it. It's just I've never really talked about it like that on the channel, so I figured I would. But in general, That's the old identity. So a negative synchronicity like that is coming up, and it's at any moment we're deciding what things mean to us. Everything is fundamentally neutral. We give it meaning. But what I've decided to do is I've decided to look at that meaning and to make a new choice about myself. And that new choice is that I'm letting go of the outcome of this, but I'm also going to develop my own teachings that have nothing to do with that. I never have to mention those words again for that book. So it's very interesting. But in general, the thing that I want to encourage all of you to do is to realize that there's the old identity is comfortable. It's the autopilot mind. It's going to the gym every single day, doing the same thing. That's the analogy. And you're doing the same thing. There's almost no plan. You're in the autopilot. The key is to go in and to push beyond that which you've been before. So what I would encourage you to do is to look at your old identity. How are you thinking, feeling, and acting? The things you're doing every single day that's on autopilot, that's continuing to get you the same result over and over again. Now, if you want to create for yourself a new reality, change your identity. Change the way you see yourself. Become aware of your ideal future version of you. How do you think, feel, and act? What are your body language like? What are your daily habits like? What kind of books do you read? What kind of people do you associate yourself with? And as you become aware of all this, what you can then do is start to take action and bridge those two realities. But one of it will be letting go of the old and then wiring in the new. So I'm having to let go of the old attachment to videos, and to 6 videos a week, especially that attachment as well. And the old me, which is like I have to work out every single day, and even though I'm going and doing the autopilot workout, this is how it is. What I'm having to do is let go of that so then I can wire in a new way of being. And this new way of being is me actually more in alignment, doing what is authentic for me, enjoying my life more, making higher quality videos, enjoying the food that I'm eating, enjoying the workouts that I do because I'm pushing myself. I feel great. And the key of everything I'm sharing with you today is, and I wanted to share it with you in the form of stories versus just like, the theory on it or the science, like, let go of one. And even my buddy Victor Otto, he was telling me this. I always remember this analogy. My buddy Victor Otto used to grow legally. He would grow marijuana back in Michigan. And towards the end of that, he knew it was time for him to move into YouTube, but he was resisting it. He didn't want to. He had this grow operation where he was growing, the marijuana legally. And what happened is things started to go wrong. His harvest got infested with some type of thing, and it went to waste, and his lamps were breaking, and all this crazy things were happening. I was showing him, hey, it's time to go in a new direction, but he had to let it go, and it was painful for him to let go of that. But once he did, guess what happened? Big spurt of energy. His videos started to go viral. So whatever identity that you have that you want to wire in, imagine that version of you and make the choice. Make the leap. Let go of the old. It's okay. If you're getting negative synchronicity, if you feel like you're in the autopilot mind, it may be time to let go of that old identity and to start to wire in the new. To wire in the new, become aware of how you think, feel, and act in that reality. What are your daily habits like? What are the books you're reading? What are the people you surround yourself with? And then what you do is you simply decide that that's who you are now, and you make the choice and you commit to that reality. That's exactly what I've done with nutrition and working out. That's exactly what I've done with making YouTube videos. Before I had that 9-to-5 job going full-time on YouTube, I committed to the new identity. I made a choice about who I am as an identity that then changed my reality, and then I committed to it. So the thing that I encourage you to do is to let go of the old. I had to let go of the 9-to-5 job Aaron that was making that consistent amount of money, and I had to jump into the uncertainty of owning my own business. But it's so worth it. It is so worth it. I find more certainty in uncertainty now because of the way I define it. If you told me that I had to make some 9-to-5 job, I go nuts. I go crazy. I get more certainty in getting into uncertainty because I know and have confidence in myself that I can create whatever I want. And you can do the same exact thing. So become aware of your new identity. Be okay with letting go of the old identity and wire in that new identity. And as you begin to do that, you'll find that your life becomes more magical than ever before. So with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, could you do me a favor and go and share this video on YouTube? Or, no, you can't share it on YouTube. But maybe you can. There's a YouTube link. And if you don't know, I have the podcast is on iTunes and Spotify. So if you're listening to this on YouTube, that's where you can go to listen to it. It's very easy. I also have a video version of this on my second YouTube channel called Aaron Doughty Podcast. It's linked on my main channel as well. You can watch the videos there. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. And as always, I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace, much love, and namaste.